So the ESPN 30 for 30 Last Dance 10-part documentary on the last season of the Jordan Bulls was phenomenal, right? I loved it. I love sports documentaries as well as the Bulls when I was growing up were some bad-ass mofos, right? So it was great. But it also got me wondering, what would I like to see made into a documentary about the Minnesota Vikings besides, Love Boat? Yeah. So 98 Vikings, right? The story has been told a million times. And besides the heartbreak, besides the ending, besides all the traumaticness that has been inflicted upon this lovable loser fan base, which is really unfortunate because, can we be known for something more than just losing Super Bowls and losing in heartbreak fashion and always having this team kick us in the nuts? Can we have that? Could we be known for the great, loyal, sense of humor fan base? Could we do that? But yeah, whatever. But that 98 team does have a bunch of intriguing storylines as well as rabbit holes that you go down. I think would really make a really good 10-part documentary series. And yes, before we get into the comments, yes, the NFL Network did do one of the missing rings on the 98 Vikings. Also, they did one on the 69 Vikings, which, how snake-bitten of a franchise you have to be where your team has two missing rings docs. That's what I want to know. But yeah, fascinating for sure. I think that the 98 Vikings are the best team to never win the Super Bowl. Yes, that includes the 2007 Patriots. Absolutely does. And also it stands out because, the Patriots, they did win 6 rings. And the Vikings, none so far. But so many damn storylines. Let's get into a couple of them. So first off, of course, Randy Moss. Rand University, Notre Dame, Florida State, Marshall, draft day fall, all that story can be, take the best of Rand University. You can extrapolate it over a 10-part series, just making everyone pay. Just that debut against the Bucks week 1 at the Metrodome, the Thanksgiving game, the 3 catches for 9 billion yards and a 2-point conversion versus the Cowboys on Thanksgiving Day. You can talk about how Jerry Jones here, Randy Moss, we're going to draft you there. I'm Jerry Jones. Boom. And then all of the just Randy Moss slapping back at the league. Would love it. You also take into account, so Dennis Green, the guy who brought in Randy, made that decision, was the father figure to Randy Moss, second black head coach in the modern NFL after Art Shell with the Raiders. Of course, Fritz Pollard was the first one back in the day. But also, he was the second black head coach in Division 1A. When he was at Northwestern, which also is really amazing. Plus, then he went to Stanford. He came through the Bill Walsh system, was assistant on the Niners, and then eventually got here to the Vikings. And something that continued to get slept on, like Denny and the Twin Cities media, they did not treat Denny fair at all. Like that's something that sort of gets swept under the rug here in this market. But yeah, that whole storyline would be great. Like his book, No Room for Crybabies, very, very interesting. So like Denny, also his game decisions in the 98 AMC title game, did that cost him the game to a degree? Yeah. Also Tony Dungy. So you could tie Tony Dungy in, even though he wasn't part of the 98 Vikings, because longtime defense coordinator under Denny Green. Also, one of the few times that you've had a black head coach and a black coordinator, defense coordinator, Tony Dungy was for a number of years. Also, finally got the head coaching job in Tampa Bay. Only team to beat the 50-1 Vikings in the regular season, just because he's so familiar with how the Vikings operated. So go down that one. Plus, Chris Carter, Ohio State, had to declare for the supplemental draft because of shenanigans with the agent, just fine. Went to the Eagles. Buddy Ryan, OG Randall Cunningham was phenomenal, but Buddy Ryan, all he does is catch touchdowns. They eventually had to cut him. Substance abuse issues. Then the Vikings buy his contract off of waivers for $100. Best $100 that anyone has ever spent, anytime, everywhere, anywhere, ever. Ever. Boom. Randall Cunningham. Speaking of which, great Eagles quarterback, was a human highlight film, was first of the really great mobile quarterbacks, retired. I was like, all right, I'm done. I'm going to be a preacher. I'm going to be a granite countertop installer. And then he comes back, and frankly, besides Terrell Davis, he was the MVP of the league in 98. He really was. That would have been a great Super Bowl, by the way, those two offenses going at it. Robert Smith, great running back, retired early, just a very Epicurus type person, just really very interesting dude, right? As well as been very open about his alcoholism and how it increased as a Viking after his time at Ohio State. So that's a storyline they go down as well. Plus, I mean, unfortunately, Corey Stringer, gentle giant, amazing athlete, was just really starting to hit his stride with those late 90s Vikings teams. Tragically passed away 2001 training camp. Also on the offensive line, you got Matt Burke, the pride of St. Paul, Creeping Durham Hall, local boy, done good. He went to Harvard. I don't know if you know that. He went to Harvard. There you go. Other side of the ball, John Randall, Texas A&I Kingsville, come from poverty in southern Texas, undrafted, undersized, unwanted, Hall of Famer. Boom. But also, they go into... so he got hurt in the NFC title game. I don't even know if the Vikings would have made the Super Bowl if he would have been able to play. I'm sure he would have pulled a Timmy Crumry, the guy who played the defensive line for the Bengals who played with a broken leg. I'm sure John Randall would have done that. It's tough, though. It's tough. Also... on the defense, got Orlando Thomas, great safety coming out of Southwestern Louisiana, absolute ball hawk, was an all-pro as a rookie in 1995, led the league with 9 picks. Unfortunately, came down with ALS, passed away in 2014. They could go down, tell his story, honor him. Also, Pete Bursich, a linebacker turned coach turned announcer. Be super interesting. Plus, superstar Mike Morris. Hell, he's the long snapper. Come on, man. You got to love 68. Plus, speaking of special teams, so Mitch Berger, the punter, not that they punted a lot in 98. Also, he had that stupid Snickers in his shoe. Remember, like, that was a big deal. It was like, oh, Mitch Berger's got a Snickers, and that's where he gets his kicking power. Spare me. Then, of course, Gary Anderson. He only missed 1 field goal the entire year. Also, Red McCombs was probably the worst owner in NFL history. Like, he really was. Just the entire saga of Red McCombs. You can get into that, where if anyone was undeserving of this amazing bolt of lightning out of nowhere football team, it was Red McCombs. Also, Bob Sapp. Bob Sapp, the legendary MMA fighter, made his bones over in Japan. Just absolutely a legend over there. He was technically on the 98 Vikings, even though he was suspended for steroids? Not Bob Sapp. Get out of here. But yeah, there's so many interesting nooks and crannies and tangents and caveats that this 98 Vikings team, this high-powered offense, this amazing once-in-a-lifetime generational team, I mean, go down. Where, man, 10-part series, sign me up. Make it 20. Don't care. Let's go. All right, what are your thoughts? What Viking story would you want to be made into a documentary? What would you like to see? Let us know in the comment section below. Subscribe for daily Vikings takes. Want to support the work? Pull us up on the Venmo. Plus give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull Production Value.